Hey guys, welcome to the Purple Army. I'm your host Purple, and today we're at part 4 of What If Deku was Spider-Man. In today's part, I may need to do a few changes from the last one because I wasn't thinking straight, and I said that he will have a cartridge that comes up from his wrist, but actually I was thinking he was going to have a pouch on his wrist that he has to manually pull it out. I just wasn't thinking clearly. I don't know what I was thinking, but if you all do enjoy this, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good junk. Hit that bell as hard as you can. Try and break it because, you know, if you want to see more of my content, it'll help you get notified. All that good junk. If you're on YouTube, you understand this. It's quite plain and simple. Um, but yeah, let me know in the comments any tips on my narration or anything of the sorts. Maybe some different kinds of stories I could be doing. I don't know, any of it. Anyways, let's get on to the video. So, a little recap in the last video. Deku had to use all for one, or, I'm sorry, one for all. No. Yeah, one for all, right? Yes. Okay, so it's one for all. He had to use it to be able to save Uraraka, damaging his clothes a bit and his arm, making his mother a little worried about him, while at the same time, of course, saving Uraraka. He goes home with only 3 villain points, thinking that he didn't get enough to pass until he gets a hollow disc in the mail, and that's where we're at now. So Deku opens up the package with the holotape inside. It falls on the table and immediately turns on. On the picture, he is faced with All Might, saying, "Congratulations, young Midoriya. You have seemed to pass the UA entrance exam. I'm proud of you." Deku looks really confused at the hollow screen, thinking, "But I only had 3 points in the practical. How did I?" He All Might cuts him off as he says, "Now, you may be wondering, how? Well, it's simple. You got the highest score on the written portion of the exam. And not only that, you did get 3 villain points in the practical exam. Though, putting that aside, we did have a secret number that we were not telling people about. Rescue points. You got the highest number of rescue points at a whopping 60 for saving that young girl from the zero-pointer robot. Now, don't worry, young Uraraka also got into the school. She got 40 points for helping you from the fall. You both got into UA. Congratulations, young Midoriya. I'm sorry I'm being cut off short. I want to talk more, but we will be able to because I am a teacher this year at UA. I hope you will come by my office at some point." The holotape cuts off as Midoriya just stares at the wall where it was, stunned. All Might? A UA teacher? And I got in? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! He begins to mumble about all the modifications he wants to add to his suit that he was designing as a child. But when it all boils down, what comes up is the suit you see on screen. It is a green version of the Spider-Man suit with these bracer gloves, these boot bracers, the belt to hold the web cartridges. But not only that, if you look on the bracer, the arm bracer, just in the middle, I'm going to be making it so that there's a small uh, indent so that he can bring out another cartridge manually as an emergency cartridge. A few weeks pass as the first day of UA rolls around. Midoriya is running through the hall, looking at the different classrooms, saying, 1A, 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 where's 1A, where's 1A? Oh, I'm gonna be late! As he seemingly runs into a giant door, or nearly runs into a giant door with the words 1A written across it, or written up and from up to down on it. He looks at the door and says, "Ah, yes, 1A, I'm not going to be late." He opens the door to the blue-haired kid Ida yelling at Bakugo, saying, "You are tarnishing school property on the first day. Get your grubby feet off the desk, you cretin," he says, karate chopping the air. Midoriya just sits there for a moment as Bakugo looks over at him in utter shock. "So they just let anyone in UA now, huh? Useless Deku," he says as he gruntily takes his feet off the desk, stands up, pushing the desk and the chair away from him, stomps up closer to Deku. Uh, uh, I guess we're in the same class, huh, Kachan?" he says, bracing his face, as in his head he says, "Same old Kachan. When will he think that we'll be rivals or something? Not useless anymore." He looks at Deku. "How did you get in here? You're a quirkless loser." Deku just looks at him and says, "I'm not quirkless. I was a late bloomer." Ida looks at both of them and says, yes, this, uh, Deku, green-haired boy, he did seem to have a really powerful quirk in the entrance exam." Bakugo looks Deku up and down and says, "Whatever. Still gonna kick your ass," he says as he stomps over and sitting back down at his desk, putting his feet up. But just then, as Deku started to relax a little bit, Uraraka comes up behind him, tapping his shoulder. "Hey, I know that fuzzy green hair. It's unkept, but I know it. It's Izuku Midoriya, right?" Izuku turns around, seeing Uraraka, as his face turns red. Uh, yeah, you're Uraraka, right? Uh, thanks for catching me." She shakes both of her hands and says, "No, no, 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 no. Thank you. The pro heroes couldn't get to me in time. Thank you for saving me from the zero pointer." They both sit there for a moment as a yellow caterpillar looking thing crawls into view of Izuku, as Izuku stands there stunned with his jaw dropped, pointing. As Uraraka just goes, "What?" as she turns around and sees it. He slightly just inches his way up, showing his face. You know, this is school. You're not here to make friends. As Izuku and Uraraka jump back, the yellow caterpillar begins to shed its yellow skin, showing Aizawa, saying, "Alright, you troublesome kids. I'm your homeroom teacher. I don't get paid enough for this. It took you guys 8 seconds to stop talking. That won't do. Here," he pulls out a gym uniform. "Put these on, maybe down at the training yard." He throws it at Izuku. "We're gonna be doing a test of sorts," he says as he walks away after giving the gym uniforms out. "Y'all are interfering with my nap time, so chop chop. Let's go." They all go down into the changing rooms, get changed, and head out to the training yard. As Uraraka just speaks up and says, why are we out here? Aren't we gonna miss orientation?" Aizawa just looks at her and says, "If you guys are gonna be pros, you can't waste time with ceremonial nonsense like that." Okay, you guys did physical tests all throughout your schooling lives, right? Well, I'm betting you were never allowed to use your quirks, because, it's the law. But this time, you know what, I'm just gonna let you see. Bakugo, get up here. You got the highest score. Here, take this and throw it. Do whatever you want with your quirk. Make it go as far as possible. You got it. What did you get in middle school? 68 meters, sir. Aizawa looks at him and just says, "Alright, now try it with your quirk." Bakugo reels his arm back a bit, saying in his head, "I'm gonna knock their socks off with a little bit of an extra kick with my explosion, just to make it more flashy," he says in his head as he throws it, making it 721 meters. I don't know if that's the real number in canon or not. All the kids look a bit shocked and say, "Wow, that looks like fun," Mina piped up, as Kirishima pipes up also and says, "Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be manly." Aizawa looks at all of them and says, "Well, if you guys think it's gonna be fun, how about I put a bit of a twist on it? Whoever gets last, they're gonna have to go home. I'm going to expel them." Uraraka pipes up, "But you can't expel us, it's the first day." Aizawa just looks at her and says, "We have a free range teaching program here. I can do whatever I held I want." As the kids look nervous, and Aizawa just says, "Alright, let's get this over with." During the exam pop quiz thing, Izuku actually did a lot better than he did in canon, up until we get to the ball throwing. Izuku then looks at Aizawa and says, am I able to use my, hero tool that I keep on me?" I, upgraded it, so I kind of wanted to test it with this, if that's okay. Aizawa just shakes his hand, waving it off, saying, It's whatever. If you're gonna use it in normal battles and such, as long as the school allowed it. Some of the kids looked confused, especially Bakugo. He looked at Izuku like, "You made your own hero tool? I want to see this equipment," he says in his head. Deku pulls out a small button-shaped thing out of his pocket and just attaches it to the back of his wrist. As he presses it with his pointer finger, it wraps around his wrist, making a small glove over his hand. Alright, that seemed to work. All the kids seem to look a little shocked as he does this. Alright, so let's stick this here, he says as he whips the web to the ball. Alright. He begins to spin the ball with the web in his hand as he has it in his right hand. He's spinning it violently fast as he begins to charge up one for all. Aizawa looks at Deku stopping his quirk. Deku not realizing it, he throws it and it just goes 5 feet in front of him. Deku looks at Aizawa and says, "Wait, what just happened?" Aizawa with his hair raised and his eyes glowing. "I stopped your quirk. That's the same power level that you did in the entrance exam. I had a sneaking suspicion you couldn't control it. You can't be a hero with that kind of quirk if you're going to get injured on the battlefield. Now, do it again, but I will expel you immediately if you are unable to continue this test." All the kids look shocked at each other. Bakugo seemingly puzzled by what's happening as Izuku goes and picks up the ball, taking the web off, putting a new web on it, starting to spin it again. He then thinks, what if I only use 2 fingers? He says as he spins it around violently. But at the last second, as he throws it, he imbues the last part of the throw with a little bit of one for all in his pointer and his thumb finger. Making it go 864 meters. Making it almost 143 meters, roughly. More than canon, I think it was. But it's definitely that much more than Bakugo. And Bakugo just looks at Izuku, shocked. There's no way you just late bloomed that damn quirk. Izuku hold his hand in a fist. Oh yeah? Then how come it's in me? He says with a slight tear in his eye as he has 2 broken fingers now. Aizawa looks at him and says in his head, "This kid figured out to transfer the quirk in 2 of his fingers, so he wouldn't break his whole arm, so he wouldn't be useless during battle. Huh. Alright. Let's get a move on, continue with the tests." Izuku went a little slower with the other tests, though still making it above Mineta in the charts. But Aizawa just looks at Mineta and says, well, what did I say? Person in last place gets expelled. Go pack up your things, short stuff. Mineta stomps away. This is not fair! Ah! I didn't get to see any girls! Alright, guys. That's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching if you did. Like I said, please subscribe, like, hit the bell, all that good junk. If you want to comment, you can, but I would like you guys to subscribe so that I know that you guys are actually paying attention, or at least liking the video. But, anyways, that was part 4 of Spider Deku, my Spider Deku What If series. Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and till next time, Purple Army, dismissed. Goodbye!